Orwell. This movie is a documentary called Orwell. 2 + 2 = 5. Tell me about it, because Orwell is kind of on at the top of people's minds these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people are definitely feeling Animal Farm in 1984 right now, but Orwell it's a kind of a pseudo documentary. It is a documentary. It accounts for the life of George Orwell from his very beginning to the end. It goes through the parts of his life that led up to Animal Farm and led up to 1984, the kind of the surveillance state, and how kind of forward thinking he was, or kind of he made a lot of predictions that I don't think he meant were predictions, but has certainly come true. Damian Lewis kind of reads Orwell's writings, so you hear a lot of that. But I gotta tell you, this movie it's an anti-Trump movie.
I'll tell you this. I'm all for criticizing even-handedly. And we certainly saw things during the Biden years worthy of Orwell-like criticism. And this movie takes shot at only one side. It's hardly a documentary worth taking seriously. I did like learning. I didn't know about Orwell's early life and what his influences are. So on that, as telling a story about the man, I really liked. But I think if Orwell saw this movie, he'd hate it. It's an embarrassing trend in documentaries where the documentary filmmaker already has a point of view about the conclusions they will make before they made the movie. And based on the funding sources for the film, they're obliged to come to certain conclusions about their thesis for their film. This movie is, by all accounts, should not get a good review from anyone. Now,
anyone who actually knows Orwell.
Yeah, and by the way, is Trump above criticism? No, absolutely critique him. But if you ignore things that happened during the Biden years and even previously, if we can't critique in an even-handed way, this isn't a documentary. It's propaganda trying to convince you of that one side is virtuous and the other isn't. A complete fail. I can't recommend the movie. And the fact that you can see on the poster, big praise, Toronto Film Festival.
Brilliant, exhilarating. The boldest documentary anyone could make right now.
This documentary is as much of a lie as the lies that Orwell pointed out in his book 1984, which I've read and I've seen the movie, and there are various incarnations. I saw the John Hurt one back in, which was that released in 84. It had that Eurythmics song.
I know it was near then.
Anyways, I'm just saying that, and I read Animal Farm. You ever see the cartoon Animal Farm?
No.
It's kind of a scary cartoon.
They made my daughter read Animal Farm.
Animal Farm is great.
Yeah, I have to say that. I mean, half of the movie is basically the life of Orwell. The other half is Trump's a bad person. Trump's an authoritarian. They show instances of authoritarianism, but of course they only use Republican examples. AOC is a god in this movie. The other thing is what they've done here, and the crime that this film commits is there are two aspects of Orwell when it comes to politics, and only took one. The statement that he makes that he's a Democrat socialist is true. But they took that and they just ran with it and said, hey, look, Orwell's a Democratic socialist. You should all be a Democrat socialist. The problem is they don't look at the criticisms he had of the Democrats and the socialists. And it's mostly what happens, or the danger that party falls into when they are given immense amount of power, which inspired the writings of Animal Farm and in 1984. Animal Farm is not a story about authoritarians. It's about his own party, and what happens when you take full control of the entire farm, and then you get to dish out, who is equal and who is more equal. That he, there was a drama that I saw at Sundance when I was last there, that basically it was the story of Orwell's tour of Siberia in Russia, and how that tour and the things he saw on that tour inspired Animal Farm. But again, all this film does is say, hey, he was a Democrat socialist, therefore we should all be a Democrat socialist, because that's the bestest party and philosophy ever. And even Orwell saw the cracks and the potential dangers that made them worse than authoritarians.
Yeah, I cannot recommend this movie, but I do recommend looking at Orwell now, especially, I mean, the UK is going through a lot
Yeah.
of this with certain speeches not allowed. People are being arrested for social media posts, being even sentenced to jail time for saying things on social media. This is Orwell stuff. It's V for Vendetta time now
Yeah.
in the UK. So it's a crisis. And here,
I mean, yeah. No, I'll just say
only-
the UK
please.
is the classic example of everyone's equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah, well, a big thumbs down, a 0 out of 10 for this movie, and you're gonna see it get praised and probably win at the Oscars.
Yeah.